Hi, I'm Hugh McFarlane. I'm the founder of Math Marketing and the author of The Leaky Funnel and hundreds of white papers and ebooks on the subject of funnel management. I've personally participated in over 300 growth projects around the world and trained thousands of marketers in B2B marketing from 20 countries. I'm excited today to share a little of what we've learned. I'm more excited though to hear from you. I'd like to hear your experiences, your views, your concerns. At the end of this video, I'm going to invite you to post your questions and comments in the forum and to discuss those thoughts with your colleagues from around the world. Strategy is a question of focus. Whole of company strategy helps you decide what focus will deliver the greatest profit. Go-to-market strategy helps you determine where you will play and how you'll play when you get there. Once you've chosen where to play, you next need to decide how to play. What strategy will you employ in the markets that you've already chosen? Strategy is really answering three questions. What am I going to sell? To whom am I going to sell it? And through whom am I going to sell it? It's about understanding your buyers. To answer those three questions, we need to get into the mind of the buyer. In 1957 was the first published use of what we now see quite commonly used, which is the market maturity curve. It's the classic bell curve, and you've seen it many times, and it talks about early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. We're all familiar with this concept. In 1991, an author called Geoffrey Moore reintroduced that in his book called Crossing the Chasm. In so doing, in that book, and then later again in 1995 in Inside the Tornado, he reminded us of a very important point about that model that many of us have forgotten. That curve doesn't describe your technology, it describes your buyers. Now that's a really important point. Here's why. Your buyers are very different as they move through the curve. In the early market, they want to be ahead of their competitors. They want to use your innovation to gain strategic advantage. They want to be the first to adopt. The next group of buyers are pragmatists. And the pragmatists are still fairly early in their buying cycle, but they will say to you, I'm happy to be a relatively early adopter, but prove to me that it works. They're pragmatists. They're not laggards, they're pragmatists. And pragmatists need fundamentally different things to what the early adopters need. After the pragmatists is the bulk of the market, what Moore calls the tornado phase, when demand exceeds supply. And at that point, the market's already decided it's going to buy. What it needs is easy access to the product and a way of comparing one product against another. Your strategy as a seller must fundamentally change. In the early days, you can sell an incomplete product, wrap a lot of services around it to make it complete just for that customer. And find early adopters. That's a good strategy. Charge a premium because they'll pay it happily. In the tornado phase, skipping a little further along, they just want access. So you need a good channel, you need to meet the market on price and even drive price down aggressively. You're now selling to the whole market and your product must be fully baked. Your strategy fundamentally changes as your buyers change and as their willingness to accept your offering changes. A question for you. What signs can you look for amongst your buyers to help you determine whether your buyers are mostly early adopters, mostly pragmatists, which are still in the early market, mostly are they the horizontal market in the tornado phase? Are they maturing? What signs can you look for amongst your buyers to help you decide where most of them are so that you know what strategy you should employ?